Okay guys, and welcome to another installment of Hamilton Mechanical. Today we are playing with the Suzuki Sidekick, and I'm going to show you a very quick and dirty way of how to get this thing cranking. The part neutral safety switch has failed, and we need her to be mobile until we can afford to do the proper repairs. So right now, you see this little black wire with the red stripe. That is our 12 volt start signal coming from the ignition switch. And if you take a voltmeter and go from ground to that wire, you will get 12 volts when you turn the key to start. So what we're going to do is we're going to run a quick wire from that to the starter wire while leaving everything in place so that we can put it back stock when we have the proper parts. To do such a repair, what we're going to use is have some high grade, I don't even know if you can read this anymore, I've had this for quite some time. This is marine grade wire. It's pre-tinned, very good wire. Don't want to use the Chinese stuff. I mean, you could if you have, use what you got. This is 14 gauge, probably a little overkill for what we're doing. And then we have these. These are called Posi-Tap connectors. They're sold by a company called Posi-Twist. And what these are a much better alternative to those little crappy blue tap connectors you get with like a trailer wiring kit. So let's see if I can get this apart one-handed here. On one end, we have a needle. If you can see that there. That needle is going to pierce our wire. And on the other end, loosen this up. Imagine like a wire nut. You can see we got a metal cone down in there. And then this guy is tapered as well. And we're just going to, one end of the wire, this end right here is going to go through this little slot. And as you tighten it down, it will pierce the wire. This end, you put the wire down in here and then tighten this down. And it's kind of like a wire nut that locks itself in place so that it cannot come loose. And we're going to use a little bit of dielectric to keep all the moisture out. So for right now, our first step is going to be fishing this wire. It looks like, from what I can tell, it looks like there must have been an alarm system at one point, which actually seems to be factory. I really honestly can't tell, but the stuff on the dash seems to be OEM. This right here is the only thing that doesn't look like it was done by the factory. So if we can zoom in here, you can see where the firewall connector there has been cut. And we're just going to fish it right through there. And we'll be right back in a minute once we get this part done. Okay, we got our wire coming out now. She wound up coming out on this side. It's easier to get to her. So we are going to run her up through this mess of wires to the other side of the dash. And we'll add some zip ties and get her up out of the way. Like I said, this is just temporary. Okay, now we got our wire fished to the other side. And real quick, if any of you guys know what this switch and this little light does, which that light is on right now and does turn off when you start the car. But, I mean, I can't tell if this is factory. Maybe not. Can't really tell what it's running to. We'll have to pull all that dash out sometime and see what's going on there. But it doesn't quite look like it matches the panel exactly. So, of course, the clips are broke, so she's just kind of hanging there. How strange. This thing must have had an alarm on it or something. Anyway, so now we're going to get this wire attached to our start wire, and I'll show you what to do next. Okay, we've got our wire stripped, the normal amount that you would want for a crimp connector, maybe even a little bit longer. I have to trim a little bit of that off. But now what we're going to do is push it down in this hole and tighten it down. Just like that. As you can see, you can pull on that sucker, you'd probably break the wire before she come back off. So now we're going to add a little bit of dielectric to the end of this needle, or around the needle, not the end of it, but just enough to seal the wire out. And we're going to install the other half over that start wire I showed you a minute ago. Little word of advice: it is easier to install this part before installing the part in the end. So do as I say, not as I do. Okay, so now we have very carefully removed just a little bit of this insulation right here. This is like an outer protective insulation, and here's our wire, black with a yellow stripe. So it's black with red going to the part neutral, black with yellow coming from. We're going to try to scoot this as far back as we can. Tighten this part down. Oop, I just knocked my phone out the way there. It's a very hard spot to tread a camera here and work at the same time. What I'm going to do, a pair of pliers would work just as good, but we're going to use the end of our wire strippers there to get that nice and tight. Okay. So now, I'm going to leave a pretty good amount of length on this. There's no reason for it to be too short. I like to have the engine to have lots of room to flex with this wire. And of course we are going to zip tie this out of the way. As you see here, these Posi twist connections, you just simple as pushing the wire through, pushing it down into that until it bottoms out, and then tightening the crap out of it. And look at that, that sucker ain't going nowhere. Okay, now where did that terminal go? It's underneath this bolt right here. Okay, she is on. So, need some zip tie action. That should do us good. Let's get the battery back in it and see if she fires up. Okay, we're back in the car, got the key in ignition. There we are. She now starts with the key again. And that is one quick, easy way to fix a bad part neutral safety switch. Now we're gonna get this sucker moved around and until we get ready to work on her, get some money, buy some parts. We'll be taking future videos. So keep posted, make sure you like, comment, subscribe for more of this poor little Suzuki rehab. Have a great day.